Hello students, this is your English lesson. In this lesson, we will read unit number 9, The Story of Silk from Oxford Modern English, book 3. So we start our lesson. This is page number 81. And first of all, words to know. Artifacts, interesting objects. Bearing, a person's way of standing or moving. Cocoon, a silky case spun by insects such as caterpillar. Confined, kept to one area. Custom, a habit or traditional way of behaving. Elaborate, carefully made with lots of fine detail. Emperor, the ruler of an empire. Manufactured, made. Weaver, a person who makes cloth by crossing threads over and under each other. Now come to the reading. Did you know that silk was discovered in China? A long time ago, in a tiny village in China, there lived a poor girl belonging to a weaver's family. One day the emperor was passing through the village and saw her working in the fields. He noticed her pretty face. Pretty is beautiful. Her proud bearing a person's way of standing or moving, and her rough, work-worn hands, work-worn, roughened by hard work, which meant she worked very hard through the year. He immediately at once fell in love with her, and though he was much older, decided to marry her. The girl married the ruler of the land and went to live in his palace as his beloved queen. But she was unhappy. She had grown up in the wide open spaces of the countryside, and now she was confined to a palace, confined, restricted in area, magnificent, extremely beautiful, though it was. She was used to working from dawn to night without a moment's rest. But now she had many servants to take care of her needs and did not know how to fill her time. Fill to use up. In the village, she had been surrounded by family and friends who exchanged news. Exchange here gives something and receive something of the same kind. And gossip. Gossip is informal conversation as they worked. So when they used to work in the fields, they exchanged news and did informal conversation. But in the palace it was quiet and no one spoke out of turn. The emperor noticed his new wife was sad and tried his best to make her happy. He bought her grand clothes, jewels, and artifacts through elaborate mean uh, done carefully. Parties hired the best musicians of the land, hired, employed for a short time, to amuse her, to entertain her. Yet she was sad. Still, she was in a sad mood. She was unhappy. One afternoon, the empress sat under a mulberry bush in her garden, lost in her thoughts about her village. She slowly sipped hot water from a cup, sipped drink by taking small mouthfuls. Staring up at the blue sky, the girl remembered the birds that flew over her village. Then, sighing softly to herself, she picked up her cup to take another sip. But what was this? A cocoon from the mulberry bush had dropped into the hot water. Her first thought was to throw away the water and the cocoon, but then she took a closer look and she saw some threads thread a long thin strand of cotton peeping out from the cocoon. Where had they come from? She pulled the threads. They were thin, strong, and shiny. She kept pulling, and a long line of thread came out. Now the Empress had a great idea. She would take the thread from many cocoons and weave a soft, strong cloth from it. She called her servants, and everyone got to work. They took cocoons out of the mulberry tree, dropped them in hot water, and removed the thread. Removed, separated. They gathered a fair amount of yarn. Then the queen ordered a special weaving machine and wove the first piece of cloth using this new thread. This was how silk, the best and brightest form of cloth, was weaved. The manufacture of silk spread throughout China. It was the cloth that only royalty could wear and was much in demand in lands as far away as Rome. The route along which silk was traded between China and Europe through Asia was called the Silk Route. Now that the Chinese had learned how to make silk cloth, they did not want to share this knowledge with anyone in the world. For many years, all members of the Chinese royal family were sworn given under oath never to reveal the secret to anyone. When princesses got married and went away to far-off lands, they were not allowed to tell anyone in their new home how silk was made. Many years later, when a clever princess was leaving her house on getting married, as was the custom, her bags were searched carefully to check that she did not carry anything that would help her to make silk. This princess had been weaving silk from a young age and wanted to continue to do so wherever she went. She had hidden the cocoons in her long, elaborate hairdo. No one thought of looking there. When she went to her husband's house, she took out these cocoons from her hair and started gathering silk thread. In this way, the legend goes, knowledge of how to make silk left China. Now come to the exercises. A. Comprehension. 1. Answer the following questions. A. Where was silk discovered? Answer. Silk was discovered in China. B. What did the girl who became an empress do to fill her time before she got married? Answer. She walked from dawn to night surrounded by friends and family who exchanged news and gossip as they walked. C. Why was the empress sad? Answer. She missed her busy life and company of her family and friends. D. What did the emperor do to make the empress happy? Answer. He bought her grand clothes, jewels, and artifacts. Through elaborate parties, hired the best musicians of the land to amuse her. E. Where was the empress when she discovered silk and what was she doing? Answer. She was in her garden sipping hot water from a cup. F. What was the great idea that the empress had? Answer. She had an idea to use the threads from many silk cocoons to weave soft, strong cloth from them. These questions are more difficult. Discuss them first. G. How did the empress who discovered silk know how to weave? Answer. We can say that she had been involved in making clothes from yarn because that would have been common for a peasant girl long ago. H. What were the differences between the Empress's life before and after she got married? Why did they make her sad? Answer. Before she spent a lot of time in open countryside. She was very busy and had a lot of close family and friends around her all the time. After she was married, she was confined to the palace. She did not have anything to do, and she was surrounded by servants who would only speak to her if she spoke to them. To answer the questions about this line from the story, but then she took a closer look and she saw some threads peeping out from the cocoon. A. Who took a closer look? Answer. The Empress. B. Where was the cocoon? Answer. In the cup of hot water she had been drinking. C. How was she feeling at this time? She was sad at this time. D. What did she do after this? Answer. She pulled the thread and had a great idea to take the thread from many cocoons and weave soft, strong cloth from it. E. Why is this an important moment in this story? Answer. This is the moment that silk was discovered. 3. Fill in the blanks. A. She slowly sipped hot water from a cup. B. They had gathered a fair amount of yarn. C. The Empress had a great idea. D. She had hidden the cocoons in her long, elaborate hairdo. E. She had grown up in the wide open spaces of the countryside. B. Working with words. 1. All these words are in the story. Unscramble them. A. Peeping. B. Elaborate. C. Bearing. D. Weaver. E. Cocoon. F. Princess. 2. How many words can you make from the letters in each grid below? You must use the middle letter in all the words you make. For example, in grid A, the letters are Y, R, S, T, E, D, E, Y, A. Yes, dear, set. So in grid A, we can make different words as yes, yet, year, yeast, red, red, read, rest, read, ready, sat, seed, seed, seer, seedy, sedate, tread, tea, tear, tease, ease, east, ear, easy, dear, dear, data, desert, dare, date, eight, R. In grid B, respite, ripe, tip, trip, trip, sip, step, spy, sprite, spite, spit, prize, pet, pest, pastor, peer, peer. In grid C, we can make different words as you, awe, odd, sway, swan, way, wand, wade, was, wad, van, weed, wend, wane, yawn, you, new, dew, dawn. 3. Given below are the meanings of some words. Can you guess them? A. In the past, yesterday. B. Most lovely, prettiest. C. In the week, Wednesday. C. Learning about language, subject and predicate. Look at the following sentence. The Empress smiled. This sentence can be divided into two parts. The first part, the Empress, is called the subject. The second part, smiled, is called the predicate. Look at the following subject. The poor woman sobbed. Subject is the poor woman and sob is predicate. He smiled sweetly. He is subject here and smiled sweetly predicate. A man and a woman walked beside him. A man and a woman is a subject and walked beside him predicate. Now divide the following sentences into their subjects and predicates. A. Birds fly in the air. Here birds are subjects, fly in the air, predicate. B. Carpenters make furniture. Here carpenters are subjects of the sentence and make furniture, predicate. C. The boys ran down the road. The boys, subject, ran down the road, predicate. D. The girls sang sweetly. The girls, subject, and sang sweetly, predicate. E. My mother went to Hyderabad. My mother is the subject of the sentence and went to Hyderabad, predicate. F. Both my brothers made a box. Both my brothers, subjects, and made a predicate, made a box, predicate. Using the correct form of the verb. See if you can complete the following. Use the word in brackets but change it. Students, these are sentences from the past tense. So according to the past, we have to use second form of verb here. A. Yesterday we swam in the river. B. Last night a thief stole my bicycle. C. Last week my mother bought some new clothes. D. Yesterday I sent him a letter. E. My brother brought his friend home. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.